The station floated in silent space, far from any star. It was called Neutral Ring, a place chosen because no world could claim it. Long ago, the galaxy agreed that peace talks should happen here. Many treaties had been signed inside its wide halls. Many promises had been broken too. The human fleet arrived slowly, without drama. Their ships were gray and simple, with no bright lights or proud markings. To outside eyes, they looked old. Some alien observers even whispered that the ships looked tired, like tools used too many times. This was exactly what humans wanted others to think. Jisoo stood near the wide viewing window of the lead ship. He watched Neutral Ring grow larger as the fleet moved closer. His face was calm, but his mind was not. He had read every record about past treaties. Almost all of them ended the same way. One side trusted. The other side took advantage. Behind him, Hana worked quietly at her station. Her screens showed streams of data, maps of space, and lines of strange symbols. She was not looking at the station itself. She was looking at the empty space around it. There are gaps, Hana said softly. Jisoo did not turn. What kind of gaps? Security gaps, she replied. The alien coalition claims the area is clear, but their sensor net avoids certain zones. It is too clean, like something is hiding there. Jisoo nodded once. He had expected this. The Truce Treaty promised an end to silent conflict between humanity and the coalition. It promised shared borders, open trade, and no more hidden attacks. It sounded perfect. It sounded false. On another deck, Commander Day walked slowly between his crew. He did not shout orders. He did not rush. Every officer already knew what to do. They had trained for years without knowing if this day would ever come. Silent readiness, Day said. Level 1? The crew answered with calm voices. No alarms sounded. No weapons powered up in obvious ways. To an outside scan, the ships remained calm and weak. Yuri adjusted her headset and listened. The diplomatic channels were open. Alien voices filled the air, speaking politely, slowly, and with careful tones. Everything sounded peaceful. That worried her more than open threats ever had. There are delays in their response timing, Yuri said. Small ones, but consistent. Meaning? Day asked. Meaning they are coordinating something in the background, Yuri replied. The human fleet docked with Neutral Ring. The station was large, with curved halls and soft artificial light. Alien delegates waited inside. They came from many species, tall and short, scaled and smooth, all wearing symbols of unity. They smiled in their own ways. Jisoo stepped forward as the human representative. He wore plain clothing, no medals, no signs of rank. To the aliens, he looked like a simple speaker, not a leader. We welcome humanity, one of the alien delegates said. Your presence honors this moment of peace. Jisoo bowed slightly. Humanity honors the chance for peace. The words were true. That was what made them dangerous. The talks began in a wide chamber. A large table floated at the center, with soft light glowing beneath it. Symbols of the Truce Treaty hovered above, turning slowly in the air. The alien spoke first, explaining the long path to this agreement. They spoke of trust, of shared futures, of ending fear. Jisoo listened carefully. He asked simple questions. He showed small doubts. He let the aliens explain more than they needed to. Every extra word gave Hana more data. In a quiet corner of the chamber, Sora watched everything. She was not a soldier or a diplomat. She was a historian. Her role was to remember. She leaned closer to Jisoo and spoke in a low voice. They are repeating old patterns, she said. Every failed treaty begins like this. Praise first. Control later. Jisoo gave a small smile. Then we are right on schedule. As hours passed, the aliens suggested breaks. They delayed signing. They asked for revisions. They spoke of minor concerns that could wait. Each delay kept the humans inside the station longer. Each delay gave the hidden forces more time. Hana's concern grew. The hidden zones are filling. She whispered through a private channel. Multiple mass signatures. Still cloaked. They received the message without reaction. Acknowledged, he replied. Maintain posture. On the surface, nothing changed. The human ships stayed still. The aliens continued to smile. One alien delegate leaned forward. You must understand, it said, peace requires trust. Complete trust. Perhaps humanity should reduce its fleet presence. As a gesture, Jisoo tilted his head, as if thinking. That is a large request, he said. But we will consider it. The alien delegates exchanged subtle signals. They believed the hook was set. Inside the human fleet, systems adjusted quietly. Power flowed through hidden channels. Armor layers shifted at microscopic levels. Old human designs, based on simplicity and redundancy, waited patiently. SOR looked at the treaty symbols floating above the table. Do you know why humans still write things down? She asked Hana later. Hana shook her head. Because memory fades, Sora said. And because lies longer than truth if no one records them. As the meeting drew toward its end, the alien delegates announced that final signing would happen soon. They praised human cooperation. They spoke of a shared tomorrow. Jisoo placed his hand near the signing panel, but did not touch it yet. He looked around the chamber, at faces that believed they were about to win without a fight. Far outside the station, hidden engines warmed in silence. Humanity waited. Not with hope. But with preparation. Hours passed inside Neutral Ring, yet the humans remained calm. The alien delegates kept finding small issues, delaying the treaty signing. They asked questions that seemed important, but were meant to distract. They whispered among themselves, looking confident. To them, humanity was trapped. Hana watched screens that filled her small cabin. The sensors showed strange signals moving in hidden space zones. The signals were faint, scrambled, and constantly shifting. They belonged to large ships cloaked with advanced technology. The aliens thought humans were unaware, but Hana's mind worked quickly. She sent a private message to Jisoo. Hidden fleets are positioning. They will act soon. They think we cannot see them. Jisoo read it and nodded silently. He was speaking calmly in the chamber, answering questions politely, but inside he was calculating. Every alien pause, every delay, every polite word was a sign. The truce treaty was a trap. They walked through the human ships, which floated outside the station. Crew members moved with quiet efficiency. The ships looked inactive to outside sensors. In truth, every weapon system, every shield, every communication channel was prepared for a sudden strike. They gave only small, calm orders. No alarms. No panic. Maintain readiness, he said softly. Do not reveal intent. Wait. Yuri was in her station, scanning alien communications. She noticed patterns in their diplomatic language. Small gaps, repeated sequences, unusual timings. She reported to Hana, who verified that they matched with the cloaked fleets. It was a coordinated move. The aliens planned to strike the humans in one decisive moment. Inside Neutral Ring, the talks continued. Jisoo listened carefully, asking questions in a calm, almost uncertain way. His questions seemed simple, even hesitant, but they gave him more insight into the aliens' plans. Each small reply, each hesitation, each careful wording added to the humans' understanding. Sora, observing silently, whispered to Jisoo, They want us to believe we are unarmed and weak. They always start with words. They always test patience first. Jisoo nodded. Then we will wait quietly. Meanwhile, the alien delegates kept praising human cooperation. They suggested gestures to prove trust. Some suggested reducing fleet readiness. Others offered minor concessions on human demands. They believed humanity would comply, showing weakness. But humanity had learned patience. Humanity had learned to prepare without showing it. Day's ships moved slightly in space, almost imperceptibly. Hidden engines adjusted positions, not to attack yet, but to be ready. Every crew member knew what to do if the trap was sprung. Hannah's fingers flew across the controls. She analyzed the data streams, plotting paths for escape and countermeasures. If the aliens attacked, the humans would respond with precision. Every step, every calculation, every contingency plan had been tested in simulation, and some in reality. In the chamber, Jisoo stood, bowing slightly as he responded to a long speech about the future. His words were respectful but careful. He acted uncertain, giving the aliens confidence. They believed they had control. They believed the trap would work. They contacted Jisoo in private. "Keep them talking," he said. "We cannot let them act until we are ready." "Yes, Commander," Jisoo replied. Yuri detected a new signal pattern. It moved quickly, cloaked, trying to surround the human fleet. She reported immediately. "They are faster than expected. They think we cannot react in time." Day's eyes narrowed, but his calm did not change. "They will learn patience is human." Hannah continued her work. Every small data point mattered. The humans had hidden weapons not obvious to outside scans. The fleet could survive multiple hits. Shields could redistribute energy automatically. Weapons could fire faster than the aliens expected. Humanity's greatest advantage was simplicity and redundancy. They had designed everything to survive the unexpected hours turned into a full rotation of the station's artificial day. The aliens finally called for the signing. They presented a floating panel for signatures. It glowed softly, promising peace. Many of their delegates smiled. They believed the humans were finally trapped, ready to sign without defense. Jisoo placed his hand near the panel, still careful, still calm. He looked around at the faces that expected victory. They did not see the small, hidden details. They did not see the fleets prepared outside. They did not see the humans' patience and calculation. Sora leaned slightly toward Jisoo. "Every trap has a weakness," she whispered. "They assume we are weak. That is their mistake." Jisoo nodded slightly, still silent. Inside, his mind planned every move. Outside, the human ships adjusted slightly, almost invisible. Engines warmed quietly. Weapon systems hummed softly. Shields adjusted. Every crew member waited with calm anticipation. The alien delegates continued to speak about trust and peace. Jisoo answered politely, calmly, showing a small uncertainty that they expected. He asked a question about a minor treaty clause, prolonging the delay. They smiled, thinking humans were hesitant. The trap was set, but humanity was ready. In the control room, Hana adjusted the fleet's positions. She double-checked hidden coordinates, ensuring escape routes and defensive zones were ready. Yuri monitored communication channels, intercepting alien signals that revealed plans. Day oversaw all operations, calm, quiet, controlled. Humanity was waiting, not with hope, but with preparation. They had learned the hard way. They had survived worse. Every move, every breath, every thought was part of their strategy. The truce treaty was a trap, but humanity came armed anyway. The tension inside Neutral Ring grew, though the aliens did not realize it. They believed they controlled the moment. They believed humanity was trapped. But patience, preparation, and quiet readiness were humans' greatest weapons. When the trap fell, humanity would be ready. And humanity always survives. The moment came quietly, almost too quietly. Outside Neutral Ring, cloaked alien fleets moved into attack positions. They believed humans were trapped. They believed the fleets were unarmed and unprepared. They thought the strike would end in minutes. Inside the chamber, the aliens finalized the treaty panel. Delegates smiled as they prepared to initiate the signing. To them, victory was at hand. Jisoo moved slowly, his hand hovering near the panel, giving the impression of hesitation. Hannah monitored every signal. Yuri intercepted hidden commands. Day's fleet outside prepared silently, weapons and shields ready, but undetected. Suddenly, alien energy beams flared. The strike had begun. Cloaked ships revealed their power, hitting at the human fleet. To the alien observers inside the station, it looked like a sudden attack, an overwhelming display. Yet nothing exploded. No alarms blared. The humans did not panic. Hana quickly analyzed the beams. They are targeting key points, but our shields are holding. Adaptive layers are working. They cannot penetrate fully. Day responded with calm efficiency. Hold position. Prepare countermeasures. Do not reveal full strength yet. Yuri intercepted signals, finding the channels the aliens used to coordinate attacks. She scrambled them silently, redirecting some communications to false targets. The aliens began to realize their attack was not working as planned. Confusion spread among their fleet. Inside Neutral Ring, the aliens noticed Jisoo moving with careful precision. He stepped back from the signing panel and raised his hand. "We understood this treaty might be a test," he said. "We signed knowing it could be false. We came prepared, not for conquest, but for survival." A murmur spread among the alien delegates. Many had expected hesitation, not readiness. Some looked at each other, realizing their plan was flawed. Day ordered small strikes against the cloaked ships. The beams fired silently, targeting engines and guidance systems, not for destruction, but for disabling. Ships slowed. Shields faltered. Alien pilots shouted, confused by the precision and restraint. Hana updated Jisoo on every move. They did not expect us to survive this. They thought it would be easy. Jisoo nodded, his calm face unmoving. "We have survived before. We will survive again." Sora observed the chamber, her eyes scanning every alien reaction. "They are panicking," she whispered. "Not because of strength, but because of control. They assumed control. Humans never give it up willingly." The aliens attempted to regain order, sending more attacks, but each one was countered with quiet efficiency. Human technology was simple but adaptable. Shields could redistribute energy automatically. Weapons could fire faster than expected. Every human ship followed precise coordination that the aliens could not break. Jisoo addressed the assembly, calm and firm. "Humanity does not seek to destroy without cause. We came to talk, to negotiate, and to survive. We knew your intentions. That is why we prepared." The aliens were shocked. They had assumed humans were desperate and unarmed. Their arrogance had blinded them. They realized they had underestimated patience, preparation, and discipline. Day's fleet adjusted formation, moving to a defensive stance that also gave the impression of potential attack. They did not fire fully, but the readiness was clear. Every alien ship that could see them understood the mistake. Yuri reported back. "Communications channels are disrupted. They are attempting to coordinate without success. The fleet is confused." Hannah confirmed. "They cannot act as one. Our interference is subtle, precise, and undetectable. Their attack plan is falling apart." Jisoo's calm words in the chamber echoed. "Trust is built on respect. Respect requires understanding the other side's strength and will to survive. We are not weak. We are prepared. That is why we live and endure. A few alien delegates tried to argue. Others looked around nervously, realizing that their plan to trap humanity had failed. Their arrogance and overconfidence had blinded them. They could not strike without consequence. They could not act decisively. Humanity had taken control of the moment without firing a full weapon. Sora leaned slightly toward Jisoo again. This is always the moment they fear. Humans wait, prepare, and survive. We did not attack. We only defended. Yet we show them strength. The chamber fell silent. The treaty panel floated between humans and aliens. It was no longer a simple contract. It had become a symbol of restraint, patience, and readiness. Humanity had arrived armed, not for conquest, but for survival and respect. Day's voice came calmly through the ship channels. All systems ready. All crews maintain calm. Prepare to negotiate or retreat if necessary. Do not panic. Do not act hastily. Jisoo turned to face the alien delegates. We have survived your test. Humanity remains ready to talk, but we will not be trapped again. Let this be understood clearly. The aliens exchanged nervous glances. Their confident plans had failed. Their trap had been anticipated. Their strength had met human preparation. And humans had survived without rash action, without panic, and without unnecessary aggression. The moment was tense. Yet it was also quiet. Humanity had demonstrated that patience, readiness, and careful calculation could outweigh brute force. They had shown that even when faced with betrayal, humans would survive, adapt, and respond. The chamber remained silent as alien delegates processed the situation. Humanity had come armed not just with ships or weapons, but with patience, strategy, and the understanding that survival required preparation. And that made all the difference. The aliens had paused. Their initial strike had failed. Their fleet was confused. Inside Neutral Ring, the human delegates remained calm. They spoke quietly but firmly. The air of control had shifted. Jisoo looked around the chamber. The alien council members were uneasy. They had expected easy victory. They had expected fear and weakness. Instead, they were confronted by preparation and resolve. We came to negotiate, Jisoo said softly. Not to fight, but we will defend ourselves. We will survive. That is humanity's way. Hana worked at her station, analyzing the hidden fleet movements. They are regrouping, she reported, trying to regain control. But they cannot coordinate fully. Our interference with their communications is effective. Yuri nodded. They are trying to hide it from their delegates here. But the information is leaking through their channels. Some of their own forces know the plan is failing. Day moved through the fleet quietly. Outside the station, ships shifted formation, maintaining a defensive stance that also suggested capability for counterattack. The aliens could see it, and it caused hesitation. They had assumed humanity was weak and unprepared. Now restraint itself was a warning. Sora spoke softly to Jisoo. They do not understand our patience. They assume we act only when provoked. They do not see how we prepare, quietly, without pride, until the moment comes. Inside the chamber, some alien delegates spoke of retreat, while others tried to argue for continued aggression. Their unity faltered. Humanity's calm had turned their confidence into doubt. Jisoo took a step forward. We have shown that we can survive your test. But survival is not aggression. We came armed to protect, not to conquer. That is the difference between humanity and those who think strength alone rules. Hana's fingers moved quickly across her controls. She highlighted weaknesses in the alien formation and prepared data packets showing intercepted strategies. If they do not act carefully, their own forces may question their leaders. She said. Yuri added, the neutral observers will see everything. The hidden attempts to betray will be revealed. Humanity's preparation will become evident to all. A few alien delegates whispered among themselves. Their earlier confidence was gone. The strikes they had planned to disable humanity had not worked. They had expected humans to panic. Instead, every human ship responded with precision. Every move was deliberate, measured, and effective. Jisoo raised his voice slightly. This treaty is for peace. But peace cannot exist if one side hides intentions behind lies. We are ready to discuss, to share, to cooperate, but not to be tricked. They observed quietly through the ship channels. Every human vessel was in position. Every weapon system calibrated. Yet no one had fired more than necessary to show capability. Restraint was their strength. Hana sent real-time evidence to the neutral observers. They could see the intercepted communications, the cloaked movements, the failed attacks. The truth became undeniable. Humanity had not only survived, they had outmaneuvered the plot without excessive aggression. ORA watched the reactions carefully. Respect comes not from fear, but from understanding. They now understand us. Jisoo continued speaking. Humanity believes in preparation, patience, and restraint. Our actions today are proof. Those who underestimate humans do so at their own peril. The aliens realized the mistake. Their trap had been dismantled by caution, calculation, and readiness. They had expected weakness and found strength. They had expected fear and found patience. They had assumed betrayal would succeed and found humanity's foresight. The council debated quietly, realizing they must revise plans. Some factions argued for withdrawal. Others wanted to negotiate immediately under new terms. They could no longer control the situation. Humans had seized the initiative by not acting aggressively, but by being fully prepared. Jisoo stepped back, signaling calm. He had not yet demanded anything. He had not yet made threats. He simply demonstrated that humans could survive any trap and still choose negotiation. That was the message that resonated louder than any weapon. Outside, they maintained fleet formations. No unnecessary movement, but every ship capable of rapid response. Every crew member prepared. Humanity had shown restraint, but the potential for full action was clear. The aliens understood that the next move would be costly if they continued there. Deception. Yuri continued monitoring communications. She intercepted signals of alien commanders questioning orders. Confusion was growing among their fleets. Humanity had not fired fully, yet control had shifted. Hana looked at Jisoo. They are reconsidering their strategy. The neutral observers will now favor transparency. Your calm and patience have changed the balance. Sora smiled slightly. The humans have come armed not only with ships, but with wisdom. That is what they do not expect. The chamber was quiet, tense, but controlled. The aliens understood that the humans had anticipated betrayal and had countered it without chaos. They had survived, prepared, and maintained dignity. The humans were ready for negotiation on their terms, not those of the trap-setters. Jisoo spoke again, quietly but firmly. The time for deception is over. If you wish peace, it must be honest. Humanity has shown that we can endure, we can survive, and we can act with restraint. That is the message of our presence here. The alien council looked at one another, realizing that the old ways of manipulation no longer worked. Humanity had come armed in every way that mattered: readiness, patience, discipline, and the will to survive. And through this, they had gained not only safety, but respect. Day nodded to his crews. Hold position. Maintain vigilance. Wait for instructions. We are ready, but we do not strike unless necessary. Jisoo turned back to the council. Let this treaty be rebuilt on transparency and trust. not lies and traps. Humanity has survived, and we are ready to negotiate fairly. The choice is now yours. The chamber remained tense. But one truth was clear. Humans had come armed, humans had survived, and humans had shown the galaxy that preparation and restraint could achieve what force alone could not. Humanity was no longer underestimated, and the balance had shifted. The alien council paused, uneasy and unsure. Their fleet remained visible outside Neutral Ring, but the hidden dangers had been revealed. Humanity had survived the trap and remained calm. The balance of power had shifted quietly, but clearly. Jisoo stood in the chamber, his calm presence commanding attention. The aliens had expected fear, hesitation, and weakness. Instead, they found preparation, patience, and controlled response. "We have survived your plans," Jisoo said softly. "Humanity does not seek conquest through deceit. We seek survival, understanding, and cooperation. That is why we prepared and why we remain calm." Hannah monitored the fleets outside. Cloaked alien ships had retreated slightly, their engines visible now as they reformed. Their coordination had faltered, and neutral observers could see the truth of what had happened. Humanity's preparation and restraint were undeniable. Yuri intercepted alien signals, confirming that confusion had spread among their commanders. Messages contained doubt, fear, and hesitation. Some questioned their leadership openly, while others debated retreat. They moved calmly among the human fleet. Ships shifted slightly, maintaining defensive positions, but showing capability to strike if necessary. Every crew member understood the significance. Restraint could command respect, and readiness could prevent further aggression. SOR observed the council quietly. "They thought deception would work," she whispered. "They thought they could trap us. They did not expect patience, preparation, and wisdom. That is what humans offer, even without fighting fully." Jisoo addressed the council again. "The original treaty can no longer be accepted as it was. It was built on deception and mistrust. If peace is to exist, it must be honest, transparent, and enforceable. Humanity is ready to negotiate under these terms." A few alien delegates nodded slowly. Some whispered among themselves. The hesitation and doubt were evident. They had underestimated humans' capacity to endure, to plan, and to act with precision. Their trap had failed. Hana sent evidence of the alien trap to neutral observers. Communications logs, intercepted commands, and fleet movements were all revealed. It was clear to everyone. Humanity had come armed, fully aware of potential betrayal, and had survived without reckless action. The aliens realized that they had not only failed in their trap, but they had also lost moral ground. They could no longer act with deception without risk of losing trust permanently. Humanity's actions had demonstrated strength without aggression, patience without fear, and readiness without rashness. They spoke quietly to the fleet. "Maintain vigilance. Stand ready. Humanity has shown restraint, but we remain prepared. Our presence is proof that caution and planning are stronger than false confidence." Jisoo turned to the council. "If we can proceed with honesty, if all parties commit to transparency and mutual respect, humanity will join in peace. But deception and hidden agendas will be met with preparation and defense. That is our choice, and it has been shown today." The aliens nodded slowly. Some accepted the terms immediately. Others continued to debate, realizing that humanity's survival had forced them to reconsider. The trap had failed, and a new balance was set. Sora smiled faintly. "They have learned a lesson. Strength is not only in power, but in readiness, patience, and the will to endure. That is what humans show." Outside, the human fleet remained ready but calm. No ship fired unnecessarily. No weapons flared. Yet the aliens understood that the humans could respond decisively if required. The message was clear. Humans are not reckless, but they are not weak. Jisoo spoke one final time. Peace is possible. It requires honesty. It requires respect. And it requires the readiness to survive any attempt at deceit. Humanity comes armed not to conquer, but to endure, to cooperate, and to show that our choices are deliberate and our actions measured. The Council accepted the new terms. Humanity had earned respect not through brute force, but through preparation, patience, and wisdom. The Truce Treaty, once a trap, became a foundation for true negotiation. Built on honesty and shared understanding. Hana, Yuri, Day, Sora, and Jisoo looked at one another quietly. They had survived the trap. They had maintained restraint. They had demonstrated that humans could endure, adapt, and act with careful strategy. And the galaxy understood something new. Humans come prepared. Humans survive, and humans choose to act wisely. That is the lesson of the day. Humanity had come armed, survived the trap, and earned not only safety, but respect. And that respect would echo across the stars, quietly, firmly, and forever.